Yo, what up? This your boy Tim, aka T.O. Speaks.
And it's your girl Yami, aka Yams Be Saying, and you are now tuned into Love and Theology. Okay, last time it was me. This is take 2, guys, so it's okay.
I know I've questioned many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in a real love, your love.
For every mom who ever missed a meal so they would have enough to let their babies eat. Fathers who grind every day to provide more than good advice. Charlie Sheen.
Yo, first I want to say thank you for rocking with us. This is what, episode 9?
We're doing so good.
I hear this thing going off my head saying, well, I don't know why I went to episode 9. Then I see confetti falling down.
What?
It's like a celebration.
Okay, because it's a celebrate. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, sharing, telling the whole wide world where you can find us. We really appreciate it for your comments. Please share. Also, please comment and give us a rating of 5 on Apple Podcasts, because when you do that, it makes us more visible. Then we can get more endorsements, and we can fully retire and do stuff.
Right.
But yeah,
hey,
thank you.
So this week, first, baby, I want to say you looking really good.
Oh, God bless you. God keep
Looking
you.
like a whole snack. You done with your meal?
I did. Ate my food. I'm so happy. I was in our previous recording. I was like the whole time. So thankfully.
What can we do today? What God called male and female to do? Since you looking so good.
Everything got to be about sex. Every single thing got to be about
I'm just
sex.
saying that's the human design.
Okay, fine. Let's focus on you.
Okay.
You look so handsome with your new haircut. Yay, you. All right.
All right. So this.
Wait, before you go,
Yes.
segment time. We're gonna do a segment that says, "What did?" Because it's love, because it's love and theology. What did you love about this week? It's a way to keep us constantly focused on the positive. So, what did you love about this week?
Well, first I would say I love that I made it to Friday.
Okay. Everything with you is.
I made it to Friday.
Oh, you country people, and you're like, I'm just so happy that
I'm just happy
made
to
it
be
on.
here.
Oh, okay.
Nah, but we got to go to Orlando this week, so it was good. What you call it? Is this correct? Since you always like to check my definitions on words, right?
I don't. It's people that be like over here, like you. And let me tell you too. You came back the second week after using pericope, telling me something. Well, maybe they didn't know it. I had a specific person to be like, oh no, I know big words. I just didn't know that one. So I just wanted to let you know that your audience felt some kind of way about you overusing, words and trying to make people feel like they didn't know stuff.
Pericope, first of all, is not an overused word.
It's week 3 and we're still talking about pericope.
Why?
You're right.
So, but anyway, it was a good reprieve, right? Would that be correct?
I don't know.
So forgive me. I don't know. I just think it sounds.
You
good,
just be
right?
trying to.
Why? It felt good. To just get away for a minute, man.
Yeah.
Chapter was in Orlando shooting the movie. Shooting the commercial, right?
Yeah.
For
Can't tell. Can't say it.
Shooting the commercial.
But coming out soon.
And she was working. Yeah, Tabitha was working.
She was working.
And you know what? Tabitha pretty much ran the whole show. Every when we got to the hotel, she was like, "Come this way, and do this." She was really bossy.
Yeah.
Like a real boss, man.
Yeah, I was basically her Uber for the day.
She treated you just like a manager.
Yeah. And I am not her manager. I
Right.
want to go on record for saying Latanya is her manager. I just, I got to accompany her because she a minor.
Latanya dope. Let's give a shout out to Latanya.
Who created these shirts. Again, if you're interested in purchasing it, go ahead and email us at loveandtheology@gmail.com. And we're also going to be creating a shop so that you can do that. If we get enough orders, we can do bulk orders, which would be preferred. So if you know anybody who's interested, you know what I'm saying, let your girl know.
Right.
Yeah.
So this week,
Oh, so you don't care about what I loved?
Yeah, what you love this week? That's what I'm gonna say. So I was still talking about what I love.
Okay, this week, go ahead.
This week, one of the things that I loved, that I was gonna get into. One of the things that I loved was
because you lying.
Why you looking at me like that?
No, you lying.
No, this week, one of the things that I loved was going to Orlando, just being there.
But you had already said that.
I don't think I drove it home. That's the problem.
You don't care about me. Me.
So, what did you love this week?
Thanks. Me. I love the same thing. How about that? nobody in this podcast, episode seems to care about.
I was getting there, babe. I said, what do you love?
I mean,
what you
whatever.
love?
It don't matter. I love the same thing for the same reasons, and minus the fact that I had to be a momager.
So she loved that she made it Friday.
I know. I will forget that part. I mean, I'm grateful, God. You know what I'm saying? Like, help me. But also, more so that we got a chance to kind of go away for a little bit.
So yeah, that was good. It was dope.
Yeah.
Tabitha love Friday. Tabitha, she loves to fly. So
Yeah, she does.
so
Bougie baby.
bougie baby.
So today's topic. What is our episode 9 topic for today?
Well, by the time this comes out, we'll be in the month of November, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, during the month of October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we wanted to highlight, domestic violence. We just talk about it a little bit. We don't want to ever, be so caught up in what we got going on that we don't deal with the issues of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, so the Domestic Violence Awareness Month was last month, and it made Tim think about the topic. I'm not. What'd you say?
I'm neither both and I'm neither either or. Rather, I'm both and.
Yeah, which you stole from who?
OM3.
The great Dr.
OM3.
Otis Moss Jr. Anyway,
He was the one that really highlighted this topic for me. I thought he had a very great lecture on it, man. So.
about domestic violence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm not. What? I'm either or. I'm not. What?
I'm neither either. I'm not neither or. Either or. I'm not either or. I'm not good or bad. Rather, I'm both in.
Okay. So let's go. Tell the people the premise of this perspective.
Well, one thing that was highlighted, I began to think about 2 Samuel, right?
Okay.
I think chapter 13 around that area about when Amnon rapes Tamar, right?
Okay.
So first, I'm gonna say this: David, right? King David was trash. He wasn't either or. He was both and.
I think like you like to say, we romanticize the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't give people the benefit of humanity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if the Bible was like an Instagram story,
Mm-hmm.
right? It would have all the the parts that are constantly preached
Mm-hmm.
would be like the reels and the likes and the things that people were liking
Mm-hmm.
on the page and stuff like that. But there's somebody looking at the Instagram page and the story and being like, y'all don't even know this dude is super, super trash.
I mean, it's not even only David. I think the biblical writers put that stuff in for a reason, but we just like to go past it. You know what I mean? Like I was talking about okay, we forgot his name again. Who was
Gideon.
Mm-hmm. Gideon. People love. Gideon was a mighty man of valor. First, he was scared. He was scared.
Very scary.
And then what he did was he answered God's call after he pretty much, fought with God. He didn't even know he was talking to God.
Yeah.
When God came to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't until later on that he realized, because when you begin to look at the Bible, see little L and big L. That's when the transition happens.
Okay, he's talking theological.
But no, I'm just saying. So he begins at that point.
Mm-hmm.
To realize, so basically he just did what God told him to do. But even after he did what God told him to do, guess what he did? He led the children of Israel back to worshiping idols. His family worshipped idols, man. He had to tear down a statue in his own yard that his father put up, right? He was called, I think, something like that. But they worship idols. And even after he did everything, he delivered the people. He helped deliver the people. At the end, they said, anything you want. He tells them to give them all their gold. So he made a big ephod, another idol, and he led them right back to worshiping idols.
The same person, but to your point, we don't realize that we are so fallen from grace that even the people with whom are highlighted in Scripture, the heroes of the narratives, can be someone else's villain.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just like it goes on and on. We lift up I think it was either Solomon or Samuel. Solomon, right?
Mm.
People love him. He was so strong. That dude pretty much was he had a sex issue, like for real, man.
Samson.
Samson. I'm sorry, Samson. Samson.
Solomon. I mean, he probably, but technically Solomon did too because
Solomon did too.
Yeah, a whole bunch of wives and concubines and all of that.
Solomon, that's how he fell from grace because he went against the law of Deuteronomy that's pretty much that theology. But anyway, he goes and people love him though, talking about how strong he was, man. You know what I mean? But this man pretty much ravaged every woman that he saw, man.
Yeah.
He had prostitutes and stuff.
Who you talking about now?
Samson. He was another judge. You know what I mean? That was called. So going back to David. David had issues. He was trash. He had so many issues. David he raped. He was a rapist. He was a horrible father. He was a liar. And I think he dealt with mental health issues, man.
And he was still considered a man after God's own heart.
But let me say this, I'm sorry. Just because you deal with mental health issues, that's not calling you trash. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
But I'm just saying, these are all the things that he dealt with, right?
Right.
But when we often tell the story of David, we never tell that story. They say, he killed his thousands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His tens of thousands. You know?
And what people, I guess too, like if you've been in therapy long enough or short enough, they'll tell you that everything that goes on has something to do with what happened to you as a kid. Mm-hmm. So you hear about David's story, you find that he didn't really have a good relationship with his brothers and his father. There's no real mention of his mother, that kind of thing. He had beef with Saul, who at one point was a parental figure to him, mm-hmm. but still turned on him eventually because, the fanfare that David was receiving. And I believe all of that stuff helped to contribute to how, all of the unresolved parts of him mm-hmm. helped manifest in different ways where he was acting out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because mm-hmm. even when you talk about the story of how he got Samson's mother, Bathsheba. Right. Dude, the trash part of David, you know what I'm saying, wanted somebody else's wife and took it, mm-hmm. and knew that as a person in position that what you say they couldn't deny.
Well, yeah, cause so he sees her bathing right on the roof, and he goes off first. We deal with it. That now if you sit there and look at somebody just sitting there bathing butt naked in today's society, well, you'll be considered a pervert of people's tongue, right? Mm-hmm. So he sees a baby. So I'm just saying, just think about all the layers that this dude going through, right? He becomes so obsessed with wanting her. He said, he tells his work. I don't know who it was. His workers are some of those soldiers to go get her. Understand this. Like, let me put a pen in the text right there. Can I put a pen in the text? Anyway, let me pause right there. Let me parenthetically take a pause right there. Right.
Continue.
But anyway, he goes and tells her to come. So, but you got to understand that when the king sent for you in those times, you couldn't say no.
Yeah.
You had to come.
Right.
You had to come, right? So she couldn't say no. And if you want to have sex with him, I'm pretty sure she couldn't say
nope.
No.
Right.
Right? So he ends up getting her pregnant. You tell the story what happens after that. What David do? He becomes come up with this whole plan, man.
Yeah. So he gets her.
I believe he was freaking out, first of all. I bet he was like, what the?
Am I going to tell the story? He gonna tell the story because it sounds like he want to tell the story. And if you want to tell the story, by all means, go ahead.
Can I just be that little ad lib? I believe he was freaking out.
Okay, I believe he was freaking out. So what he then does is, and this is what is really trash. He pulls Bathsheba's husband and from the war that he was fighting in, and was like, "Yo, go sleep with your wife, man." And Bathsheba's husband.
He said, go sleep with your wife, man. I love the way you said it. Go sleep with your wife, man.
And this guy has so much integrity. He was like, "Nah, I'm not going to sleep with her, knowing that I still got a whole bunch of people, fighting in the war. So I'll sleep outside, but, you know what I'm saying, until, it ain't fun. It ain't no fun that the homies can't have none, basically." And David was kind of like, "Yo, no, this don't work for me at all." So he literally gives this man.
He's too integral.
All right. He literally gives this man his own death warrant, his own death certificate, because, and this is a request that David uses with his seal to have this guy put to the front of the line.
His seal, he sure did.
Yeah, see, you already know some of this stuff.
I missed that, but you're right.
Put to the front of the line, and old boy eventually dies as a result of, his desire for Bathsheba, which was really trash.
And it's funny, I bet Dave was like, so yeah, she's pregnant. I can say that was the dead husband, baby. But you know what? No bad thing goes unnoticed. So people was talking like,
oh God, yeah.
You already know that's like, man, that ain't I can't think of his name. Who was it? The one who died?
I can't remember.
Uriah. That's not Uriah.
Boy, they was at the well just sighing. Ha, poo. Hey, did you see?
David,
Did you hear what happened?
I sent for it when he did.
Right, I was there, and I kind of took a peek. Right before he sealed it, I kind of took a look at the letter. You know what I'm saying?
But don't say nothing, cause you know you killed.
Don't say right. Don't say nothing.
You're right.
And the word got passed along, cause
people was talking.
Oh man.
So basically, that's how that's the rape portion of David, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but still, guess what David is? A great king, a great leader, right?
Yeah.
But what is he also?
A bad
rapist,
father.
right?
Oh,
he rapes somebody. We're gonna go to the bad father now, right?
Yeah.
So what is the topic? We either are. We're both in, right?
I can't get it right. So
we either are, rather we both in.
Sure.
Right? I'm not a rapist, but it's always two sides to everybody's life.
You're telling the people that you're not a rapist.
I don't rape, but I'm saying there's always two sides to everybody's story. So somebody that's watching this got another side.
Oh yeah. You're right.
So now, let's see. Amnon rapes Tamar, right?
Man, can you get us some firewood today? Oh no, not firewood, but the little thing so that we can burn the fire later on. Come cold.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So Amnon rapes Tamar, right? Tamar, pretty much, he becomes so obsessed with his sister. He sends for her, and David sees why he's sick. I think he tells David, his father, send Tamar in here to make me some food and have her feed it to me, right?
This is so not for nothing. But if David is a king, she is therefore a princess. Can you imagine? A part of me wants to be like. She was more than happy to serve her brother, but other part of it, probably, if it were me, I'd have been like, do you know who I am?
Yep. We got servants, man.
I know, a whole plethora of people. You need somebody to go ahead and serve you. Let them do that. That got to waste time serving you anyway. Go ahead.
But could that have even been with domestic violence in that time? That being a woman, that she had to say no.
I mean, but he was also a king, so whatever the king said had to go regardless of who you were.
Who you were, right?
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just my postulation.
But just imagine this, man. This man was so lovesick, was so much in love, was so enamored by his sister that he got sick. That is crazy.
That is kind of wild.
But think about this, man. That's just crazy. So he comes up with this great plan, right? Mm-hmm. She comes in, she pretty much begs him. He tells her what's going on. He pretty much begs, don't do this. You're gonna bring shame to it. Ask our father for my hand in marriage, so at least that won't bring shame.
She asks. He grabs her and tries to take her, and one of the most a woman's value was in her virginity around that time,
right? Mm-hmm.
And she was just kind of like, if you do this, I'm not. Not only am I not good to you, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I ain't gonna be good to nobody else.
Right.
That's not even right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he was still like, nah, come.
No, come. And then he raped her.
Yeah.
He had his way with her.
Other than that,
he ravished her.
Okay. After that,
and then he goes and he gets angry with her after he commits this act.
Yeah.
He begins to hate her, man.
Crazy.
But I would say this: anybody that commit those type of acts or something, they never hate the person who they did it to. They really hate themselves,
right.
But they gotta project it somewhere else. So if you begin to deal with domestic violence, look at the person, man. And he showed signs of hating himself a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And after a while, that stuff gonna spill over to somebody.
Yeah,
It's gotta come. You know what I mean? It's gonna come.
Well, I think what happens next is what really is burdensome or troublesome about this whole family dynamic. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, you take that.
So after that, I think Absalom finds out, right? Yeah. What happens? Absalom was enraged, but he still told Tamar
to hush.
Be quiet, don't say anything. David finds out. David's enraged, but guess what he tells Tamar?
To hush.
So just imagine, man.
But why did he tell Tamar to hush?
Because I think it would have affected his kingdomship, his priesthood, or whatever you want to call it, more to know that this is going on inside the house of David. But what David failed to realize is that people already knew he was trash.
Yeah.
I'm sure people did, man. People knew that what he did to Uriah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People already knew that. But he still was king. There was nothing they could do about it.
Yeah.
You know, so people already knew that. So, but I think that's what it was. They didn't want to bring shame on the family. You know, on the monarchy or whatever you want to call it, right? They didn't want to bring shame on it, right? So he told them to be quiet. And so just imagine this, man. Like kids are even women that getting beat up. How often that the abuser tell them to be quiet?
Yeah.
So she was abused by 3 people, man. 3 people that was close to her, man.
Yeah. But
by 2 people that was close. No, 3. 3 people.
3. Yeah, because both of her brothers and then her dad. But the good news about her is that she did not remain quiet.
And I often say when nobody around you can talk to is gonna help you, what is the next thing you do? You begin to speak out to somebody.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
You gotta say something.
You know,
right?
yeah.
So what did she do? Like, how did she, even though they told her to be silent, because guess what? She still was silent. She did a silent protest, man.
Oh yeah, what'd she do?
She began to go out in the courtyard. I think it was. I could be wrong, but she begins to tear stuff and put it over her head, which is a sign of lament, which is a sign to let people know something went on, something's wrong with her, right? When his child died, right? What did he do? He went out, began to rip his clothes, and I want to say put dirt over his head or something like that. And she did the same thing. So I can imagine that everybody around was like, something happened in the king's palace, man. You know.
That's crazy how we have the stories that are more likely told, and it doesn't disqualify David, right?
Right, it doesn't. No.
But the stories that are more and more told don't show the 360 version of who he is. Right. So I guess my next question is, what is your theology on that?
Well, let me say this. I believe the reason people like, well, why David was so trash, why did God still use him? Because it wasn't, God can care less about your nature, I believe, at times, right? He cares more about your yes. One thing that David did, every time he messed up, that man repented, man, like nobody else, man. Even Gideon, he still, even though he messed up, he still said yes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He still said yes. So God is looking for your yes, right? Are you repentant? So he still used David, right?
Yeah.
So my theology would be in this situation is just, but my theology is, we're both neither and or. You know, we're not and are. I'm not just good or either I'm just bad.
Yeah.
I'm both and at times, right?
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, I recognize that. I recognize my bad side. I recognize what can come up through anger and all that. And with me acknowledging it, I'm able to suppress it so it don't get the best of me, because I know it's not a shock. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think what happens is most people say, "Nah, that's not me." Yes, it is. You need to recognize that might be you before it creeps up on you, and it's too late. So
that's good.
My theology is that I recognize that I'm both and, you know. And before we go to yours, if you ever notice something, the best character in the movie is the ones that both end. Like, you know, the love stories, how somebody might be in love with this girl, then the girl say no, but he's showing himself to be great. Mm-hmm. Then at the end, he turns to this villain. Mm-hmm. Those are the most intriguing actors, man, because they both end, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's if we can show that it's okay to be both and, just understand that bad side, recognize it, and suppress it.
That's good. Or not suppress it, but deal with it.
But deal with it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, but deal with it.
Yeah.
But the only way you can deal with it is through recognizing. Mm-hmm. So, what is your theology?
I guess my theology on this matter would be that one, we all need to learn to do more deep dives in like the Bible and the stories that we're told, but also the recognition that while we may be the hero in one narrative, we are also the villain in someone else's narrative. I think, like, even when I think about the superhero movies, like the Marvel movies, like the Avengers, for instance. At some point, they started discussing how, these people were going off and saving, the world from, imminent danger, but also the consequences of what they were doing because they weren't paying attention to how they were doing it was that there was city destruction, people dying because of their negligence and stuff like that. So, like you're saying, they were heroes, right? But there were also some other people, they were villains, and those villains then created the narratives that we love also, because they are twofold. So I think recognition of the fact that we can both be the hero and the villain, like you said, in someone's story is going to help us be more cognizant. We may not be able to fix it all the way, and for some people, no matter what we do to fix it, attempt to fix it, we're always going to be the villain in somebody's story. But it's more imperative to know the holistic story, and I think too, by like knowing the whole story of David, for instance, gives freedom with regards to how we perceive our ability to be used by God. Because like there's this concept that you can only be used by God if you're you're perfect in every way. But the truth of the matter is, the only perfect person was Jesus.
That's correct.
As far as the physical manifestation of a person being in, whatever, in the Bible. And that's the only perfect person. The rest of us, just because of the fall, we are fallen. Right. And the best way that we can do, instead of rejecting God's calling on our lives, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to recognize that we're the hero and the villain, and allow God to do his thing in and through us, regardless of our innate nature to be not so good all the time.
Right. I agree. That's dope.
That is dope. So thank you guys. Let me look at this time. Oh, we still have time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Love and Theology podcast. We so appreciate you. If you like this, you know what I'm saying? Share it, like, subscribe, share, tell the whole world that you can find us here. You know what I'm saying? Every week.
Womp, womp, womp. I don't know why I do that.
When you say womp, it's like it makes me feel like Charlie Brown womp. What
so
you
it's like,
to say?
They say womp, womp, womp when you're in a party.
Pew, pew. I know what you're saying.
Pew, pew, that's what
You're not doing it right. That's why. See, that's why you use it.
So, it do sound like something.
Well, bye-bye.
Peace.
I know I've questioned many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in a real love, your love.
For every mom who ever missed a meal so they would have enough to let their babies eat. Fathers who grind every day to provide more than good advice.